I think we heavily lack some role model in having modesty or chastity these days. If anything, it's way too easy to find role models for the opposite of chastity. Actually, do we actually know what chastity even means? It's haya, okay? It's haya. It's like, you know, when someone takes very noble steps to protect their dignity, there's elements of modesty and shyness to it, like in the way you dress, the way you walk, in the way you speak. It's a very beautiful concept that not many of us know how to describe anymore because we don't see much of it. In fact, chastity is one of the major themes of Islam. It's supposed to be a quality that is very apparent in every one of us. Anyways, back to what I was saying. What was that? Oh yeah, role models, right? Role models. This was actually a very lovely conversation I overheard two old men discussing in the corner of a mosque following Isha prayer. It was so good I thought this has to be shared with the world. And the funny thing is, I don't think these two men even know who I am. Maryam alayhi salam, a prominent and an honored figure in our Islamic civilization. We may have heard of her chastity and purity as qualities that Allah has emphasized time and time again. And that was very important so it can counteract any foul or blasphemous talk that anyone may bring and prove the truth of Isa or Jesus alayhi salam, that he was a man born without a father, but by a miraculous circumstance and not otherwise. But that's not all who Maryam is. She is a source of light for all of us. It's such a beautiful thing in the Quran that Maryam alayhi salam has become one of those figures that we look up to when we remember chastity and most importantly, self-control. And how relevant is this for our times? I personally believe that's one of our greatest human afflictions today. We've lost so much shame with our own souls and have wronged ourselves and wronged others many times over and over when it comes to these things. You know the deal, whether it's the spread of premarital relations or viewing of pornography, betrayals and sacred marriages, all these weird ways we dress ourselves today, and the celebrated platforms that shamelessly display this for the world to see. It's easy to realize we have a crisis, and in moments of crisis, we perhaps need to recall in a certain light Maryam's legacy, because she was able to withstand what some of us aren't able to. And fortunately for us, her self-control, her chastity, and willpower was always manifested in the timeless words of Allah. This is a very subtle observation to show us to what incredible lengths this woman's chastity has reached. But first, let's look at this passage in Surah Yusuf, where the wife of the minister who attempted to seduce Yusuf alayhi salam earlier in the story has now brought women from the city to a feast she has prepared in order to show them how beautiful Yusuf alayhi salam really is and that she is really not blowing anything out of proportion. So Allah says, فَلَمَّا سَمَعَتْ بِمَكْرِهِنَّ أَرْسَلَتْ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَأَعْتَدَتْ لَهُنَّ مُتَّكَأً وَآتَتْ كُلُّ وَاحِدَةٍ مِّنْهُنَّ سِكِّينًا وَقَالَتْ أُخْرُجْ عَلَيْهِنَّ فَلَمَّا رَأَيْنَهُ أَكْبَرْنَهُ وَقَطَّعْنَ أَيْدِيَهِنَّ وَقُلْنَ حَاشَ لِلَّهِ مَا هَذَا بَشَرًا إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا مَلَكٌ كَرِيمٌ. So when she heard of their taunting comments, she extended an invitation to them and arranged for them a comfortable place to sit and dine, and gave everyone a knife and said to Yusuf, "Come out to them." So when they saw him, they found him great and were so stunned that they cut their hands and said, "O God, he is no human being, he is but a noble angel." Pay attention to that reaction here, okay? These women were so taken back by his beauty that they weren't even able to hold themselves still and cut their hands from how stunned they were. They have never seen anything like this. In fact, they say, this is not a human being. This is nothing but a noble angel. We as readers know this is not true. This was only a human being. If you are confused, what does this have to do with anything? Just wait, okay? Now, if we were to contrast a certain episode of Yusuf's life with Maryam alayhi salam, we get to see something really beautiful. The context now in Surah Maryam is that Maryam alayhi salam is all alone. She is secluded by herself. Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam is about to appear before her in order to give her the news of the coming of Isa alayhi salam. فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِن دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا. Then she used a barrier to hide herself from her people. Then we sent to her our spirit, Jibreel, and he took before her the form of a perfect human being. She said, I seek refuge with the All-Merciful against you if you are God-fearing. This time, it's different. This time an angel really did come and took a human form. Angels are breathtakingly beautiful creatures, and so when they take a form of a human being, they would also take the form of a breathtakingly beautiful human being. Maryam alayhi salam, unlike those other women earlier, remained in control. Shocked, yes, but still in control and very alert. The first thing she does is remember Allah by seeking His refuge by the name of the Most Merciful, because she's appealing to Allah to place mercy for her in this situation. And secondly, she's appealing to any remnants of faith and fear of God in this man to leave her alone, right? So isn't that amazing? That the women of Egypt who lost control of themselves over a beautiful man who was confused with an angel, and here we have Maryam alayhi salam who sought refuge against an actual angel, it's incredible. A powerful image for us to remember and cherish. I think in our daily struggles, we have to acknowledge these great moments in history. And we know that in the end of the day, Maryam alayhi salam was herself a human being. And so this chastity, this hayat, is a quality that is very much possible for all of us to take hold of and grow in our souls, even if we happen to live in the overly shameless climate of today. So may Allah keep us chaste, may Allah give us our light. And of course, as always, I want to remind you this is not a tafsir, this is a reflection on the established meanings of the verses amongst our scholars. I'm not your neighborhood scholar or your teacher. I'm just some Muslim kid.